Part 2B. You have to understand that when you are dealing with a person who suffers with depression or has bouts of depression or only feel that death is their only way out, that shit's not a joke. That shit's something that you should probably monitor carefully. It's some shit that you should know about. Some shit that you should do your best to make sure that this person gets help on some level or another. And not having nobody to do that, and then meeting and falling in love with someone who helped me a little bit, only to have that person 2 years later, half a week before the anniversary, decide, hey, fuck you, buddy. I'm just you're just not gonna be the guy. I made you spend 2 years of your life, and now I'm gonna purposely fucking hurt you because I'm not woman enough to tell you that I didn't love you or you were fine while you lasted. Or let's get the real truth out there. Maybe my racist ass parents don't want me with a half breed, or maybe they're afraid that you're only using me to get their land. You know, the truth would have been great because from the jump, I told her parents and her what my intentions were. My intentions were not to make her some Asian fuck toy. My intentions was to marry, love, honor, and cherish, which I did through the whole relationship, which clearly was a slap in the face for me because somehow or another, after Twilight, she fell out of love overnight. That being said, she also took me to court for two love messages, or two love songs, and two text messages. And the judge has made it completely illegal for me to make any contact whatsoever. So, again, because the young lady on Facebook has no idea what I've gone through, but wants to say moving on, moving on. This is some shit that young people adapt to and adjust to very well. And you do that especially if you were like the popular kids in school. When you haven't been bullied from grade school to high school, when you actually have more than three friends and none of them are imaginary and everybody in the crowd flocks to you and they love hanging around you, where you got that one kid over there in isolation. Yeah, that one kid's me. Where nobody really wants to hang with the half-breed. No one really wants to be the friend of the half-breed. No one really wants to say anything nice to the half-breed. Or, we like your hair. What do you mix with? Oh, these are topics that they care about. What do you mix with? What's your hair? What's your home life like? Do you love yourself? No, no one's ever really said stuff like that. But what they have said is, yeah, you're not really black. You're not really white. We don't really want nothing to do with you. And that's been my life in a nutshell until middle school. Then the bullying got worse. And in high school, the bullying got worse. And when you've been through all of that, and the only thing you want to do is die so that you don't suffer anymore, and you having problems from school, you having problems from home, you having problems when you hit college, and all you have all your life is problems. It's so much easier when you're out there to look at someone and say, move on. You need to move on. You need to get your shit together and move on. And you know why it's easy for a person to say that? Because they aren't you. Because they have not walked a country mile in your shoes and don't give a fuck. And they don't know the shit you've gone through because they don't want you to talk to them about it. They don't care. They don't want to hear it. They don't, well, fuck him. What the fuck was his experience? His experience can't be any worse than mine. Everybody's experience can be worse than yours. When they tell you that as bad as you have it, there's always someone worse, that shit's not a joke. Everyone has bad experiences. But some people, myself included, just all have a bad fucking life all the way around. And if you haven't had a bad life, if you come from a good home where both your parents aren't divorced and you're living it and you don't have 4 or 5 different siblings whose daddies don't do shit and you have to help your family because the men that your mom slept with were boys with big dicks and licks and wouldn't do their fucking jobs, and then you're stuck doing the job that they should be doing, and you're a fucking 7-year-old kid stepping up to do the job that these men should be doing, then you have no idea what a person has gone through. And then you gotta turn around because your siblings, apple not falling far from the tree, do the exact same damn thing as your mother and start having babies with these ass cracking, pimp smacking, shit swizzling motherfuckers with big dicks and a licks who don't want to be men, who don't want to raise their kids, who don't want to stay out of jail, who don't want to not do drugs for one goddamn day so they can take their kids to the park so that Uncle James doesn't have to do it. And then you want to wonder why, when I fell in love for the 9th or 10th time with someone, it was supposed to be the last time. Because at 35 years old, you should be more than ready to settle down. You should know what you want in your life. By the time you're 21, your goals should be set. Maybe not met, but at least set. That way you have something to live for. Since I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a cop. However, I found out by the time I was 12 that I'm probably not going to reach maximum height velocity. Because in Virginia, at the time, now there's discrimination law, so you can't use it at the time then, but now you can't use them at all. But back then, they discouraged women to be state troopers, and any man under the height of 5'7", 6 feet was the minimum height was 5'7" to 6 feet. You could be taller than 6 feet, and as short as you can go was 5'7". So, as a 12-year-old kid, I asked a state trooper, how tall you gotta be a state trooper? And I'm a 12-year-old kid, so I'm still growing, or at least I think I'm still growing. He goes, 6 feet. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm gonna be 6 feet tall. I'm gonna rock a badge. I'm gonna be a bad motherfucker. I'm not gonna have a gun. I'm gonna have a nightstick, roll that bitch around, because of Tonfas, and I had Tonfa training. And come find out, I started doing research, libraries, because they actually do exist. I don't know if they still exist now, but they did exist. I know we have one at PVCC, but I've read in the regulations, because you can get the librarian to get you like state regulations for jobs and certain things, that you had to be 6 feet tall. So the cop wasn't lying to me. He wasn't really trying to discourage me, but what else do you tell a 12-year-old kid who wants to be a state trooper? Well, by the time I got 15, 16, possibly 17, I hit 5'3", and I got that 1/2 inch. Never grew another inch, so being a state trooper was out. So then I figured, okay, I'll be a homicide cop. The problem is, living in Virginia, now we probably need more homicide cops, but back then, living in Virginia, we didn't have but maybe 1 to 3 homicides a year, if that. Not like nowadays, where we have a homicide damn near every time we turn around. And it was like what's meant to be and what's not meant to be. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, damn, what in the hell is going on? And I'm sorry, Days of Our Lives distracted me. And it's like, okay. So then I had more home problems, which stopped me from going after my dream. Now, here's the thing though. Did it really stop me? Or did it just make me take a different path? It stopped me. Because my real dream was to be a superhero. And being a police officer or a fireman was as close as you could get to being a superhero. Like a real live superhero. The problem is I don't like fire. So we definitely wasn't going on that route. I don't really like guns. I don't like being shot at. But that was more of a direct route to being a superhero than being a fireman. At least in my mind. I kind of found out later, firemen probably get more respect. Alright. So, having home problems completely stopped me from doing that. So I decided, because my family doesn't really love me and they keep putting me through some shit, that I could become an actor. And that was a good plan. It's a great plan. I'm getting in front of the camera. I'm not afraid to be in front of the camera. Acting's a little touchy, but I haven't caught a break. And that part sucks. But at the same time, I love being in front of the camera. I love what I do. It makes me happy. So, it's kind of what I want to do. It's why I'm here. And it has made me do more. But the main reason I wanted to be an actor is because I want to be somebody who's not James Williams Jr. Somebody that people will depend on. Superhero, Power Ranger, G.I. Joe. somebody that people will look at and say, I want to be just like that guy. Not the guy who's playing that guy, but that guy he's playing. That action hero, that half-breed guy, I want to be like him. No, because great stories, great movies, when they're told, they touch you all. And acting is the easiest way for me to be somebody who's not me. So I have like those things up there. I have a ton of discs with stories on it, and I have no crew to film, and I have no money to pay them, and I'm pretty much in a rut. Then along came a studio in Petersburg. Oh, I left some stuff off. Let me catch you up real quick. As I said, when the relationship went down, it went down in that pile of 7 and 8s of things that went wrong. Alright? So, way back before the relationship ever started, I was filming these films. And I took it to a studio that I'm not going to promote because I could have been working and had millions by now. People would know who I am. So the studio is getting no credit. I'm not going to promote these bastards. They made me take a movie. And then they told me they don't do kung fu movies. And within 2 years they were making kung fu movies. They just wasn't going to give me a job. Because black people don't look out for black people. And they damn sure don't look out for half-breeds. Okay? So they were like, alright, your movie sucks. We're not going to make this movie. Blah, blah, blah. Now, when I went there, first thing they did was tell me, because I didn't have an appointment and I wasn't kin to the person who's running the show, that I wasn't going to get a job. And also, if I wasn't a member of SAG. SAG is expensive for those who don't know how much it costs to be in a Screen Actors Guild. If you're not actually acting like on a soap opera, or a night soap opera, or a hit TV show like SVU, or something where you're actually getting paid enough money to actually join the Screen Actors Guild, that's a bit of a problem. And a lot of us independent filmmakers can't afford that shit. I don't have $270 something to just throw to somebody and never be able to like reap the benefits of that shit. If I had $270 for every year that I've tried to break into this business, and I've been trying to break into this business for the last 18 years, because I started filming in the year 2000. It's 2018 now. So that should tell you how far I've gone. I've been to every casting call, and this is what I get. Well, you're a very handsome young man, or you're a very good-looking man. They were lying, but you're not what we're looking for. What they wasn't telling me until one honest guy at a casting call, which is why I haven't been back to any. I may go back one day. I don't know. I don't listen to my radio anymore. Don't know when they're coming. I know they used to come every 6 months. And one guy says, well, you know, James, if you really want to do this, you got to try working in theater. And I say, dude, there ain't no colored people in Shakespeare outside of Othello. I don't like that play because Othello, he doesn't fare well in that play. And there aren't any other black people in Shakespeare plays, really, and I don't like Shakespeare. And I'm not that good of an actor. You know, I'm honest with myself. If I'm not honest with anybody else, I am honest with myself. Because you need to know your limits. Acting in front of a camera in movies, those guys in the back that edit that shit and make you look good, those guys are the guys that help you keep getting paid. So pay your respect to those guys who edit the films and make you look good. Acting isn't hard. Let's get that out of the way. Acting really ain't hard. Getting the people who make the movies to say yes, that's the hard part. Having a special look for what they're looking for, that's the hard part, because you're not born with what they're looking for. Not once have they came to me and said, well, we're looking for a guy who's half Native American and half black, and we can make a movie about you. No, that's never happened. So I made a couple of my own, which really didn't pan out very well. Anyway, that being said, doesn't mean I can't try again. You know, even Aaliyah lost on Star Search, and she tried again and it was successful. Unfortunately, my hip replacement from the Army, which came from me having my heart broken, which made me join the military because I needed a purpose. I needed a reason to live because I was going back down suicide road. I found my home in Delta, and then when my leg got fucked up again, everything here went away. Everything I worked so hard for to fight against was gone. And it was gone for good. And then I came home for a failure to adapt my rifle. I got an honorable discharge, but I didn't know how fucked up I was. And then when we found out how fucked up I was, everything only got worse from there. I'm gonna make a third part. Sorry, we're at the 15-minute mark, so I have to decide now within the next 5 minutes if I'm gonna make a third part. I'm gonna have to make a third part because this is a getting to know James section. So you have to understand that the best way to know someone is to ask them, and most of the time people aren't going to give you 1,000% honesty. I'm doing that kind of now. All right, I'm giving you 99.9. I'm leaving names out for reasons of legal ramifications. I'm leaving things out that are too sensitive to talk about. But what I'm willing to talk about, you'll have to draw your conclusion from there. And that's the thing. You can't jump to conclusions, you have to draw conclusions. When you jump to conclusions about someone, you can find out that you're wrong. And that will be the kick stomping starter of a shit whistling conflict that you don't want no part of. As I was saying, acting is not hard. Getting discovered, getting roles, competing with other people, that's the hard part. Handling rejection, that's the hard part. I may never get a TV show. And who knows, tomorrow somebody might see this video and say, that's the guy we want right there. Maybe I'll get lucky and Jason Momoa will be like, no, I don't want to play the Crow. Give it to James. That shit's not gonna happen. And I'm pretty sure Jason Momoa would make an excellent Crow. So, therefore, there's a role out there for me. I just haven't found it. And I have wrote many roles for me, and I just don't have the money to make the shit happen. And that's the thing with independent films. You're always under the gun, and you always got your backs against the rope. So what you produce and what you find and what you can make, that's your baby, and you have to make it great, or shit's just gonna hit the fan. You have to keep that in mind as you prepare for the third part of this getting to know you section.